This is your trap and roll for the mount escape. So Brian's going to put me in the mount. We'll do this from a couple angles. So the mount position is when he's straddling my hip line. So our first variation of the escape is when he's based out. So he's got his hands up here. Maybe I just bridged and his hands came down. First thing I want to do is I want to capture one of the arms, either side. That's the side I'm going to bridge him to. So what I want to do is I don't want to reach. As I reach, he can climb his knees up and get me in the high mount and start working to submit me. Okay? So instead, I bring my body to his arm. So I slide myself up and I grab his arm. I'm going to pull right at the crook of the elbow down so that his arm is trapped onto my chest. And you'll see this is a recurring theme throughout the video. Okay? Now I need to trap his leg. So first off, I'm going to go over the hand variations of how to trap the arm, and then we'll rotate so you can see the legs. So first variation is he's based out. Notice I don't reach, I slide myself to that arm and capture it. Second variation, he's got the headlock. One of his defenses to keep the mount is to lift my head. I don't want him to lift my head. So I have to put my head onto the floor. I'm keeping this hand engaged here because my neck is now exposed. He can work for Ezekiel chokes and things like this. So I want to keep this hand engaged here. Now this one is going to grab at the back of his tricep and my elbow is going to stay in. Not like this, in. Okay? That's our second hand position. Third hand positioning is he's going to sit up and he starts to punch. As he punches, I cover. Notice one elbow is down, the other hand is up, covering. So as he's starting to punch, I bridge. See his hands come forward. Now I do the same thing as the first one. I'm going to slide and grab. Okay? And then the final variation is he's going to open his hands and do the give me your lunch money choke, or the bully choke. What I want to do from here is I take my hands, I'm going to reach one in between the gap, grab at the wrist. The other one slides up the leg with my elbow, and I'm grabbing the back of the tricep like I'm holding a glass of water. Okay? So these are our hand positionings. Number one, he's based. Two is the headlock, where I plant my head. Three is the punching, and I have to bridge. And four is the give me your lunch money choke. Okay? So now we'll flip around 180 degrees so you can see the legs. Okay, so no matter what I'm doing with my hands, it's the trap of the leg that's important, that I want you to focus on. So regardless of how I get this arm, I have the arm trapped. Now I'm going to focus on the leg. What I don't want to do, there's two variations. Variation number one is trapping the ankle like this and pointing my knees. I like this, but as I go to bridge, you can slide that knee out and I lose the trap and roll. So variation number one, I grab the ankle, point the knees, I slide my hip. Now it's a little bit more difficult for him to pull his foot out. And now I would lift, and he comes over. Okay? So one more time on variation number one. Regardless of the hand position, trap the ankle, point the knees. Move my hip and side crunch so I create as much space as possible. Now I can lift my hips and bump them over. The second variation, which is the one that I favor now, is when I trap the arm. Instead of trapping the ankle like this where he can pull his knee out, what I do is I actually extend my leg and try to place my toes onto the floor. This engages my opposite side hip and it starts to lift his body without me even bridging. Now, from here, I'm going to roundhouse kick with this leg. And I come up into the guard position. Okay? So one more time, we'll show you all the variations from a side angle. Mount. He's got his base. I slide up to the arm and I grab it. Slide up, grab. Trap the foot, bridge. Come on. Variation number two, he's got the headlock on this side. I pin my head to the floor, engaging my other hand so I don't get choked. Right, lift my head. See, it's much more difficult for him to lift my head. Trap the arm, kick the leg, bridge a move. Variation number 3, he sits up to punch, I bridge, same thing as 1. Trap the arm, grab the ankle, bridge. And the last one is the give me your lunch money choke. 1, 2, see the elbow slide. Trap the foot, bridge. Trap and roll escape, mount escape for the white to blue belt curriculum.